5, 10, 15, 25.
25 days we've been closed, and we just got closed for another 5 weeks. Oh, yeah, 3 more days. 33 more. Hey, Tim.
Hello.
We've got some days to go, so we'll be together here on the Zoom. Oh, Sandra. All right. Drastic measures.
Drastic, yeah.
Woo!
Oh, look at this.
Rich with his hair. Sandra's got new dark hair.
Yes.
And Thibaut, you're going to be next. I want you to be blonde.
Very blonde, platinum.
Cut the beard off. Go for something maybe red.
Azure blue, like his Bronco.
That's right. That'll be good. All right. So to 5-day anniversary. You take things like 25 anniversaries. You guys remember this place? I'll show you that it's still here.
Wow.
Yep.
It didn't float away.
Float away. There's no yellow tape across the door. There's no police outside, although that's coming maybe.
No, we have their prices.
What do we have today? Let me show you that. I think everyone probably already knows it. But it's a couplet for time. So however fast you can get 100 double unders, 75 double unders, 50 double unders. And then the burpees are 21, 15, and 9. So these repetitions for the burpees are the same for everybody. Everyone's going to do 21, 15, and 9 burpees. If you feel like scaling the number of those, absolutely, you can do that. 21, 15, and 9 added together equals 45. So it's not a small number of burpees, right? It'll take some minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. That's some double unders as well. And there's a lot of different ways that we can sort of pick and choose what you want to do. You know, because I'm here at the hut. I have 4 different ways that you, at least 4. I have 4 written down. Maybe we can brainstorm some other ones. But if you don't have a jump rope with you, there's a lot of other things that you can do to either replicate the stimulus of the jump, right, like penguin jumps, or to replicate the intensity of breathing hard. And that could be if you have a rower, or if you run, or if you have an assault bike. Any one of those things could be something that is substituted for the double unders. But it seems kind of appropriate, right? Because we're doing the double unders. We'll start with a little bit of Simon Shuffle. I know Dr. Joe's been Simon Shuffling up there in Mammoth already for a few minutes. So let's just start getting moving right here with the Simon Shuffle.
Simon Shuffle is what Cassidy does.
Before I mute everyone, anyone that is not going to jump rope, show me your hand. Raise your hand. Okay, just show me a hand. Jump rope.
Not going to?
So if you're not jumping rope, got it. Okay, just to give me an idea. Don't worry, keep Simon Shuffling there. We'll talk a lot about what's going to go on in the meantime. All right. So hold on to something and get in a set of leg swings. And I want you right now to kind of think about if you were to do 100 double unders, and if you're really good at double unders, or if you've watched someone that's good at double unders, about how long does that take? Right, 100 double unders. There's 1 double under roughly for every second. Actually, they're even faster than that, so 100 seconds. Somebody that's really good at 100 double unders, they could do it all the way in a row. It's only going to take them somewhere between a minute and a half. Although there's no squats in this workout, let's go ahead and get a set of air squats. So a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. Somebody that's going to get a couple of breaks in their double unders. Maybe you can't go unbroken, or you can't. You don't have the skill to get them unbroken. So we're going to say that a single set of double unders, the focus is about 2 minutes. So that means if you're going to row, I'd like you to row for 500 meters. So you can row comfortably for 2 minutes, 500 meters, something like that. Now, if you have a rower and no jump rope, maybe you'll row today. Let's get a set of step lunges. I'm going to step towards you guys every time so I can check out who's here. Oh, here's Eric. Eric M has joined. Dusty and Cecily are here. There's Lori. So those of you with a rower, maybe it's a 500-meter row. And since the third set of double unders is half of the first, if you're going to row 500 meters in the first round, then in the third round, you're going to row 250. Right? Or maybe it's 400 and 200. You're going to have to come up with those numbers. All right. And let's take a knee in lizard lunge. So grab a knee, shift forward. We're going to open up some hip flexor back here. We're going to get in some general mobility. If the first set of double unders is 2 minutes and the last set of double unders is 1 minute, then that means it's 4.5 minutes of double unders. And if we go for about 2 to 3 minutes of burpees, this workout is less than 8 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes. Last night I looked online at the games leaderboard for this, and someone had already posted a time like 3.5 minutes. Now, I think they're lying, but that's okay. Let's assume that somebody can finish this twice as fast as me, then definitely this workout's probably going to take 7 to 8 minutes. All right. Let's move over to the other side if you're willing to do that. So we're going to use this workout as one of the preliminary benchmarks for the Whole Life Challenge that incidentally starts today. But we're doing a rolling start with this, with a Whole Life Challenge that's 12 weeks long. 12 weeks long? Yes, it's 12 weeks long. It's double the length of a regular Whole Life Challenge. We're going to have a couple of different preliminary workouts. This is one of them. So I want you to think about making sure that this workout is one that you can make objective, one that you can measure, observe, and repeat. All right, let's come up to standing and go for another set of squats, but let's do a pause squat. So 3, 2, 1, and stand. 3 pause squats.
Hey, Mike, is it an opportunity to like struggle through double unders or not?
I think today is not. Pam's question, in terms of struggling through double unders, is today a day where you want to get in like a lot of misses? Like if you're only going to get 4 or 5 repetitions, 6 or 8 repetitions at a time, you could do that, but I would greatly reduce the total number. If you make it something like 50, 30, 15, that would be a way to do it. But if you're really going to struggle through the skill work aspect of this, I'd recommend that you scale the number a lot or go to single unders. So if you're going to do single unders, the ratio is 2 to 1. For single unders, you're going to get 200 for the first set, 150 for the second set, and 100 for the third set. And that's operating under the assumption that you're good enough to get single unders without breaking at all, right? So that brings me to the next part of the warm-up. Please grab your jump rope, if you have one, and go ahead and just get in a set of 50 single unders, right? If you don't have a jump rope, you're gonna do what Dr. Joe's doing. First, just get some singles, and then you can do some penguin jumps. So the singles are like this, not the double tap penguin, but the singles go. And I want you to try and get super bouncy singles. So just singles for now. Get really bouncy. There you go, Joe. Notice that I want you to focus on the single bounce, the single tap when you're jumping up. That's the timing of the jump. So when you go up, it's the tap. If you're tapping on the way down, you're not doing it right. The timing is off. So make sure you get that double tap, the single tap on the way up. And make sure that's a springy jump up. So another way to do this is if you do belly taps, in some way this is actually could be preferable because your elbows are bent. And you can get sort of the drum beat along there. All right. So those of you that don't have something to jump to, or a jump rope, you might use what's called a plate jump. And we've done those in the past where we take something that's, let's see, a little bit high off the ground. I would not advise using a yoga block, but I'm going to use one for demonstration. And you could do 100 of these jumps. That would replicate the bouncing of the double under and the cardiorespiratory aspect of the double under. Right? So if you have a bumper plate, a 10 kilo is great. If not, then use something else. I'll continue to give you a variety of things to choose from. Now let's go for a set of inchworms. So let's reach up high in the sky, forward bend, walk it out. Single push-up. Mountain climber left, mountain climber right, and walk back up into position. Go ahead and get in 4 more of those. Notice I added a mountain climber right and left, because that will mean that it gives Pam another day of mountain climbers. This will be 3 in a row for her. Oh, it's so nice to have blue sky. Pam, your sky matches ours today. Okay, the next movement we're going to do, some of you that are finished already with your inchworms, we're going to go for a stance that's a little wider than your squat stance, maybe not quite sumo, and you're going to rock back into your left foot and then your right foot, keeping your weight in the heels, right? Imagine you're on a sailboat and it's listing horribly and you're trying to keep your balance. And then every 4 rocks, that's 2, 3, 4, I'm gonna go a little bit wider with my feet. The thing I'm gonna make sure is that I'm gonna stay in the heels at all times. So you're opening up laterally. You can brace yourself with your hands on your knees. But again, the idea is you're stretching the adductors. You're getting some dynamic range of motion in the hips. If you want to walk forward with your hands in front of your feet, you can do that. And if you're standing up tall, you can stay right here. Right? If you can't get all the way down to the ground. And then hinge forward at the waist. Right? I'm going to bend forward. I'm in rigid neutral spine here. Belly is nice and tight. Hips are back. If you can put your hands down on the ground, then do it. If you need something else to bridge on, you can do that. And I want you to do 4 walk out into plank and walk back. Keeping your feet as wide as possible. Walk out into plank and walk back. Okay. And now from this wide foot position, you're going to go down to the ground and do a burpee. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to leave my feet where they're at. Watch this. I'm going to put my feet, hands to the ground. I'm going to jump back with really wide feet. Jump up with really wide feet and come up to standing. You don't have to jump, but it's hands down, feet back. They stay wide. Feet up and then back. From the side, notice that during this entire thing, I have rigid neutral spine. So get in a couple of those. Now, what I was doing was trying not to bend my knees very much to keep the feet way out wide. Hinge, jump back. So part of this would be done somewhat like this to speed up your burpees, because if your feet are really wide, you don't have to stand up very tall, as opposed to if your feet are here, then you're stretching out longer, and then you're coming up to a standing position that's taller. It's kind of like if I'm overhead squatting, if I have the shoulder mobility, I prefer to have my hands as close together as possible instead of having them really wide. It's the inverse here. The wider the feet are in a burpee, the closer you are to the ground to start, right? And the better mechanical position you can get in with the back. So if I'm standing up tall, the likelihood is I'm going to fold over and round my back. If my feet are a little wider, I can get the hands to the ground and the hips to the ground with a neutral spine position a little easier. So get in 3 burpees, trying to keep the feet a little bit wider than normal. And notice that that range of motion is a little bit different. Now what I'm trying to prevent here, and I'll show you this when you guys are all done, I'm trying to prevent this, that position right there. The stink bug position. And if I can go quickly from the ground with wide feet, I can jump basically into a little squat and go up. And when I bring my feet through more quickly, it might not be as restful, but it's faster and I'm in a better spine position. Worst case scenario on burpees. This is why I always allow a step back, because sometimes people's jump backs end up in that bad position instead of here. All right. Let's go back to, we've got some burpee practice in. Let's go back to the single under. And those of you with ropes, I'd like you to get in 20 super bouncy singles. And I'm going to show you the super bouncy single. And John, are you going to jump or are you going to row? So hop on the rower, John, for a minute. So I'm going to get in a set of super bouncy singles as my head leaves the screen. And I want you to get in 20. See how that's different than this? I'm going to do single unders during the workout. I'm going to do singles like that. But since I'm practicing for double unders, super bouncy singles. And then get a set of 10 double unders. Super bouncy singles into 10 double unders. And so this is where you're going to have to decide, are your double unders, we'll say, good enough? Can you link enough double unders together so that the jumping rope with the double under is a cardiovascular response and not just a frustration response, or not just working on the range of motion or the motor skills, the motor pattern. All right. Now please get in 5 burpees. I'm looking for a burpee that has that kind of wide foot position. Yeah, that's it, Dr. Joe. Please make sure chests get all the way to the ground. And it's totally fine if you snake, if you rock back and forth, but it takes more time to rock back and forth. It takes less energy, but it takes more time. And again, you can feel free to step back or jump back into these burpees. Feel free to step up or jump up into the burpee. Everything's good with that. Okay, we're gonna go for a small time trial where it's going to be 25 double unders and 7 burpees. So 25 double unders, 7 burpees. I'm going to put you on the clock for this. So it's actually a race. I want to see who can finish this the fastest. But first, if you're not going to do double unders, you're going to do 50 single unders. If you're not going to do single unders, then do double penguin taps, right? You'll do 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to do, 25 of those. The double penguin tap is just like a double under. If you're going to row, right now I want you to row 125 meters, 7 burpees. All right, so for time, which means I'm going to put the clock a little bit closer. I don't know if you can see that yet. How about this? It's pretty close, huh? So here we go. 25 double unders and 7 burpees in 3, 2, 1, go. Get all the way standing up tall. Open the hips for the jump. Got it, Joe? We're at 45 seconds. Remember, Jane, don't do a push-up. There you go. Just relax into the ground and come right back up. All right. So there's a total of, this is like, basically if you do that about 7 or 8 times, that's the workout.
That's rad.
All right, there you go, John. John, for the actual workout, you're gonna do 15, 12, 9 of burpees.
Hey, Mike.
My tissue didn't make it up, did it? One around down there. Oh, no, probably in the
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
This is so cool. I love it. Awesome. Have fun.
So cool, but I'm gonna leave. Join in there, Krista. Okay. Here we go. The next set. 15 double unders and 4 burpees.
50 double unders, 7 burpees.
Again?
Double unders and 4 burpees. 13 single unders and 4 burpees.
Oh, 30 single unders.
50-meter row and 4 burpees in 3, 2, 1, go.
Even on the deck, it's not great.
I'm bonking.
How come?
I don't know, it's hard.
Well,
My knee's been bugging me.
just slow it down. You could reduce your numbers too.
All right. There we go. Nice job, Jane.
I want to jump on the burpees. I can, I know, but it's not going to be good. It's like each day my knee's getting a little more tired.
All right. So the question I have for you there is, do you know what you're going to do for the jumping part? If you know what you're going to do for the jumping part, give me a thumbs up. And then we'll go around and I'm going to ask
For both.
that don't yet know what you're going
You
to
could just do penguin jumps.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll see how it goes.
do. So
Hopefully
any
I can get out of it.
you that know what you're going to do from the for the jumping part? John, do you know what you're doing?
Talking to me, boss?
Here's what you're doing, John. 400-meter row, 300-meter row, 200-meter row.
Same for me.
No, yours is 500-meter row, 375, 250.
375 and 250.
Yep.
Thank you.
Welcome. And then, John, you're doing 15, 12, 9 of burpees.
All right.
How about you guys, Dusty and Cecily? Good, okay. Pam's good. Dr. Joe's good. Rich and Julian are good. Andy's good. All right. Andre, pues.
Right.
Yes, John?
What say again, the rowing?
400, 300, 200.
All right, got it.
And the burpees are 15, 12, 9. It looks like, Lori, you're set up too, right?
Yep.
And you're good, Edwin?
I don't know about the second row.
So,
What is it? I'm gonna do 400.
so Lori, you're doing 400, 300, 200. How about you, Sandra? Do you know? I can't hear you.
Double under.
Double penguin.
Double under penguin.
Yes, the double penguin. Now, just keep in mind, those of you guys know that those of you doing the double tap penguin are going to get through. You guys have the the burden of finishing first. You guys should win. That's what I'm looking for. You guys are going to get the fastest times. Does that make sense? Because hopefully you never miss a double penguin tap.
So how much is double penguin, Mike?
You do 100, 75, and 50.
Thank you.
This is what it looks like when you fail a double penguin tap. So, you go ahead.
Single.
I think it should be like a burpee penalty if you miss it.
Right. I'm going to keep the clock right here. Everyone can see that, right? And I'm going to leave us on, you guys can see everyone, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's your choice also. You could make it so you're just seeing.
Can you move the clock over a little? Better, yeah, perfect.
Okay, so final order. You're staying home until June 1st. Oh, that was a joke. Stand up tall, put your hands up over your head and get on your tiptoes. Yep, for those of you that are doing burpees, oh, it's all of you. That's the top of a burpee right there. That's what the top of your burpee looks like. It doesn't look like this. All right. And since I'm doing the workout with you right here, I'm not going to be the judge. I'm not going to be the jury. And no one's killing here. Okay, so we're starting in 20 seconds. Get your ropes. Get your ropes ready. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go.
No problem. You're doing great.
Edwin. Okay, this is it.
Woo! Just 9 more. You got this.
$52.
3 more.
Jane. This is it, Edwin.
Woo! Last one.
What's up, Jane?
Yeah.
Good work, Edwin.
Jane, all right, Edwin. All right, John.
Last set, John. You got your time, right, Edwin?
9:59.
All right, Jane.
Here we go, Jane.
You go, Jane.
Nice job. Good work, Jane.
Last couple reps, John.
Let's go, John.
5 secondes. Hein?
Go, John.
How many more, John?
La compétition, je t'ai pas dit.
I don't see John's phone.
All right. Can you guys type your times into the chat? Actually, you know, the most important part is scaling down on your own, right? To make sure that you write down your scaling. The way that I typically do it, Slim, is I write it down on a box and then I take a picture of it. And that way I know my whole life challenge start time. I mean, my preliminary. All right, Eric, when you 9:02.
Will you take a picture and text it to me?
Yeah.
No, Buster. You want to let Buster out?
Poodles. Poodles. Buster. Hey, Buster. Buster. Come on, over here. Over here.
Good job.
Time to go to bed.
Buster.
Hey, ready, pulling?
Jumping jacks, good. 448.
739.
At least mine will be nice and close, but
For the second time around.
yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Now yours.
Okay, I only have to beat it by 1 second.
That's in 12 weeks from now,
12 weeks away.
right?
Minutes. But we're gonna
But that elevation for Dr. Joe means that's RX plus.
I mean, she just has to go back there to repeat it. 2.
Yeah.
7:15, 7:30.
Dusty,
Okay.
6:31. Yep.
31.
Yeah.
Down. They're talking about the runners. Be Dusty.
I think Dusty does steroids.
Keep going, John.
Done.
13:45.
45,
13:45, John.
6:45,
13:45.
13:45.
Cinco. Let's see, Jane and Tib, I'm looking for your scores. Oh, Tib got it, 8:47. Those.
Are we unmuted or not?
No. I hear you. What was your time, Julian?
What?
What was your time?
7:39. Dusty, I'm coming for you, bro.
Hey. Jane will have your time, and then Sandra as well. All right, well done, guys. So personally, I could feel the double unders. Man, having not jumped rope in a month, I can't believe it.
Do that again and not crash.
Guys, I hear it running. So go ahead and sit on your ground. And let's take those thumbs. I'm not going to go through this full mobility session because you have a 20-minute video that takes you through the feet and the calves. But go ahead and take those thumbs, these ones right here, and stick them right at the base of your Achilles. And we're going to do like a self-massage all the way up the back of the calves. All right, so we're going to take like a full minute. Just going down, up and down the calves. We have dust bowls here in the hut. The weeds tried to take over. Like literally there were weeds growing in the windows. Man, after 25 days, isn't that crazy? So continue with that, your thumbs in your calves. Joe's going skiing. She says bye. And then I'm going to take my thumbs and go out here into the upper part of the outside edge of my calves and just stick my thumbs in there. Just some self-massage. Okay, after I've had enough in the calves, I'm going to take my thumbs and go along this outside strip of muscle on the front of the shin, the outside front edge. You can take thumbs or fingertips. And wow, that stuff is tight. I don't know about you, but on me it is. Yeah, after not having, in the first 15 reps, I think I missed 5 or 6 times. That was a bit awkward till I got my rhythm back there. Okay, now let's do this. Find something to lean against, and I want you to take your ankle through as big of a range of motion as you can. And the important part is this front stuff here. Sure, we do a lot of calf stretching, and we all probably could do a little more of it, but stretching the front of the ankle, this plantar flexion, pushing the toes down towards the ground. I like to lean up against something and take my ankle through that range of motion. And then I stretch the calf of that side while I go through the other ankle. And that's where we're going to leave it for today in terms of the lower limb mobility. Again, you have that 20-minute session, which is just long enough, but also just short enough to work on those lower legs. But what I'd like you to do now is just sit down on your butt, right? Hands behind you, propped up. Push the hips up to the ceiling, and then go right back to the ground. So it's like a glute bridge, but instead of your torso lying on the ground, your hands are on the ground, and you're gonna push through the hips to the ceiling. So, right, you should feel it open up the front of the shoulder. Keep the shoulders pulled back and down, hips to the ceiling, and then back to the ground. Get in 5 of those. Hips to the ceiling. Draw shoulders back, hips push up. And then on the 5th one, I want you to stay up there and then move your hands back and forth to try and find a comfortable spot. My hands are going to be out like in that direction, so my thumbs are pointing towards my body. And then I'm going to lift left leg straight and hold for 5 seconds. Switch legs. Right leg straight. Hold for 5 seconds. Switch legs. I'm going to start singing. Hava, Nagila, Hava. Yeah, you got it. Left leg out. This is the first leg. Cross it over your right and just hang out there. Right? So we're getting 2 jobs accomplished here. Right? Triceps, shoulders in stabilization, and the left glute. Right? So this is like a reclining pigeon. It's not super restful, but it does get that isometric hold of the muscles of the shoulder. If you really think about it now, you understand that your belly is on. You have tension in your stomach. Go ahead and back to the front and take a break before we do the right side. For those of you that I can't see, it's hard to give you any extra clues or cues. Hands back to the ground. First thing to do is lock out the elbows, right? Straighten the elbows. Push shoulders down. Then hips come up. Right leg extended. Right leg over left. Well, for me, this right side is much more mobile than the left, so I don't get quite as much stretch, so I can try and find a position where I open up that right glute. So active upper body stabilization here with the lower body stretch. I would say it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, but I don't like to kill birds. And I can't throw rocks that accurately. All right, butt back to the ground. Now we'll get in some glute bridges. Lie back on your back. You can put your hands on your chest or on the ground. Push glutes, hips to the ceiling for 5 seconds. And relax. Hips to the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Ready, go. 3, 2, 1. 2 more of these, and go. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Oh, one more, and go. 3, 2, 1, switch. Now we're gonna go back, we'll go over to all fours. So we've done a little breakdancing practice already in the crab position, and now this is tabletop. Right, so all fours, knees off the ground. And the first movement here is to get stable between all 4 bases of support, right? Palms, excuse me, toes. From this position, lift up one hand and imagine that you can spring forward and jump, right? So you can go back and forth between hands. With this, you should shift body weight only slightly, so it's not like this. I have 50% of my body weight in each foot, and now I'm going to shift over just slightly. All right, I've got more in the side where my hand's off the ground. And just explore that. Notice that when the hand comes off the ground, that same leg becomes more active. And then rest. Shake out the wrists. Shake out the upper body. We're going to do one more piece of that, and then that's just a short set of 5 minutes of things that you can do on your own to become a better break dancer, because it's at the top of everyone's list. Okay, so let's get into that. All fours. Low crawl. Now you're going to bring up the left hand, shift weight over into the right hand, and bring that right leg up off the ground. And then back over. Left hand to the ground, right up. Left hand comes on, left leg comes under like a Turkish get-up, but don't put that hip down. Shift and switch. That's 2. We're going to get 10 of these. Notice for right now, I'm leaving my hip at 90 degrees, my knee at 90 degrees. So I'm trying to keep my lower body rigid throughout this. 4, 5, 6. Feel how you're breathing. When you're in this position, your torso's tight. 7, 8, 9, 10. Knees on the ground and rest. Nice work. So that's it, guys. Workout number 2. Do you remember what workout number 1 was? Yes. It was the dumbbell snatch, air squat, push-up. It's still not too late to do that workout and submit your results. Unlike the open, you can submit your scores for any of these 3 Saturday workouts at any point in time. So if you want to redo that first one, I kind of want to redo the first one. I kind of want to redo the second one too, but hopefully it won't happen. All right, guys, we have about 10 people that have so far joined our Whole Life Challenge team, and Pam, someone named Amanda, do you know her?
Yes.
That's what I figured. So if there's ever been a time to do a Whole Life Challenge, I think this is probably one of the best. Hib and Sandra are on the team. Nice job. Okay. So for the rest of the day, have a good sunny day. Tomorrow is Easter. Have a great Easter morning. You can join us at 4 o'clock. I can call it Easter yoga, but it is yoga and it is Easter. So since today is a Saturday, I guess tomorrow is Easter yoga. Cool. Thanks for coming, guys. Remember to write scores down and keep those safe.
Yo, bye-bye.
Happy Easter.
Mike.
Bye, everyone. Take care.